Welcome back to the workshop. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the AtomStack A24 Pro. Because I'm always an honest being, I will disclose that AtomStack did provide me with the machine for today's video. However, they are not paying me for the content of the video. Therefore, all of the opinions are honest and my own, or my hidden personality, or the other personality. A lot of people love to do these review videos by starting with an unboxing. I'm just going to talk over the unboxing because it was quite literally nothing of fanfare. You know, it is like basically already assembled, which they call their unibody assembly. That means you don't have to put anything together except for putting the laser head on, which is really easy. It came with all of the hookups that you're going to need for air assist. However, the unit I was sent did not come with an air assist unit. Since I don't have an air assist unit, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you guys the capabilities for cutting in this video because I don't like to cut things unless I have that air assist. It really is helpful. So if you consider picking one up, add the air assist to that order. Apart from the missing air assist and the honeycomb tray, it actually came with everything you need to get up and running for a successful engraving venture. It came with the user manual, which is really thick, mostly because it is written out in every language. That said, it was easy to read and easy to follow the information. It came with an extremely sturdy aluminum focus tool so that you know how to get accurate focus for your engraving and your cutting without kind of doing some weird measurements or witchcraft. Then it came with all of the little auxiliary stuff that you need to help cable manage and the tools to basically just screw on the laser head. And of course, the glasses. The glasses that we have come to know and love that are provided with pretty much every laser. The glasses that reassure you that at night you are not going to get any sucky now. It is a lonely life to love laser, but I love laser more than I love suki. The build quality is awesome. This is a very sturdy aluminum frame, and the laser is actually tested in-house before they package and ship each one. It's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. It's not shaking. It's really nice. Usually if you shake a diode like this, it's gonna either vomit like it's been on Mission Space Orange 10 times in a row with a couple of margaritas, or it just slides this all over the place and kaput. I think my favorite thing regarding the build quality is having two screws here. These thumb-headed screws are fantastic. Keeping two of them instead of one ensures that the laser head unit isn't going to have some awkward tilt or potentially fall out of focus, slip, or anything else. It's a really good mechanism for keeping that balance and also ensuring that the pressure on the laser head because of gravity isn't going to make it slip out of position while it's moving. Naturally, we cannot do a laser video without calling out safety features. There is anti-tilt, fire detection, and more that is on this machine. You can have a lock to toggle the machine's ability to turn on and off. I'm leaving this in place. My kids are not allowed in here, but if they were allowed in here, I would take the key away. Then there's, of course, the alarm bell and the emergency stop. This is also the power button, so you can basically hit that if you see an emergency in progress. This little doodad right here is actually a Wi-Fi antenna, and while it won't work with laser burn or laser gerbil, you'll be able to use it with the AtomStack app that is available for iPhones and Android. Given the fact that it is so sturdy with this aluminum frame, there's no reason to think that it can't go super fast. In fact, it will do as high as 500 millimeters per second, or if you like to use the millimeters per minute, which tends to be a little better for diodes, that's 30,000 millimeters per minute. I personally don't like to do the math, so I just use a calculator. So let's talk about focusing and getting that laser into position. Now, you're not going to be able to take this laser and manhandle it by sliding the axis back or to and fro in order to position it because of the kind of laser that it is. You will, however, be able to control it with software, which I easily do with Lightburn. This is a little bit twofold. First, it is an axis gantry-based diode laser. So it needs to know exactly where it is at all times. The other thing is that's mostly for safety because you don't want it to not know where it is and start burning through things. Newsflash, laser go pew pew. So here I'm going to actually tell it physically to go to X150, Y200. For focusing, you're going to take the focusing tool that they provided, and since I'm just going to be engraving, I'm going to use the engraving side and just drop the laser head down with this tool sitting on top of the slate coaster. Now, if you need to move your material over or move the laser to a spot so that it's convenient, you can do that. I strongly suggest holding the laser head when you're unscrewing these screws. It doesn't take a whole lot and they don't go in very far because this will just drop and it makes a really loud clank. Ask me how I know. Once you get it into position, continue supporting the laser head and just slightly tighten those screws. Again, it doesn't take much. Remove the focus tool and you're ready to go. Oh, one other thing to note is there is a really helpful crosshair that shows with the red laser light. That is safe to look at with your eyeballs. You don't need to wear special glasses for that part. That's just a really good tool for lining up your work. Everything's positioned, so I can go ahead and basically start all of the work, and I'm going to be testing initially with this slate coaster. Now, you may be clever and notice that I did put down an aluminum sheet. That's because I have trust issues. Not to be confused with trust issues with the machine, trust issues with myself, and remembering how to line up things correctly so I don't go through the $300 workbench. If you want an aluminum sheet, these are really easy to pick up. Just go to your local hardware store and they can give you one. It's really great even if you don't plan to do any cutting because it does protect the table just in case you're an idiot like me. Okay, I'm gonna let this thing go and you guys can watch it laser all day. Okay, it's done. Gonna take it off of here. So you see that the laser did home itself. And we have a Cousin Eddie's RV maintenance slate coaster. I'm sorry, it has a foul word on it. So I don't want to show it too much. And then I realized that's silly because it was on that long video that I kind of sped through. Anyway, it did really well with this slate. I dialed in the settings based off of what I do for my larger laser that's a CO2, and it's a 100 watt. And typically I do slate on that at 400 millimeters per second with maybe 30 to 40% power, depending on like how smooth the surface is, because sometimes the slate materials are not incredibly smooth. This one happened to be. And I basically just did this at 300 millimeters per second, 50% power, and I think it looks honestly fabulous. I will add that one thing I did do because I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I had to stop and restart the engraving a couple of times, is I had to open up their app. So I did pull up the app and I had to use it in order to correctly calibrate the laser crosshair. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out of the box completely calibrated, and so you need to actually do that by marking an area. I just marked some cardstock. I basically moved the laser into a position and did a little crosshair mark and then lined things up using the application. This is something that's unique to the machine, so you need to use the app to do it. But once you've done that, you don't really have to do it again unless you jostle the machine, remove the head, or I don't know, drop it. Now, Lightburn does automatically understand the auxiliary positioning feature. However, yeah, you gotta use the app to configure it, and that's okay by me. because now it works fine and I know how to position things. While I did the big test with a slate coaster, the AtomStack A24 Pro is capable of working with anodized aluminum, wood, and stainless steel. Cool, so we know what it can do, we know about its build quality, and how easy it is to get up and running with it. What about pricing? Bear in mind, if you're watching this video a year from now, the pricing has probably changed. AtomStack offers 3 different kinds of packages. The first package is extremely basic. It's essentially what I have here. You're not going to have the air assist and you won't have a honeycomb or even the aluminum protector. However, at a lower price point of about $550 US, it's a really good way to get up and running with your own engraving business. You can invest about another $100 into it to get a kit basically that does have the air assist and the honeycomb. If you decide that that's something you want to do is cut, you're going to need those 2 things. And then for around $775 to $800 US, you can get the more advanced package that includes all of the previous packages plus the rotary unit. I will admit I have never shown off a rotary unit with a machine like this. I do have rotary for my CO2, just not for my diode lasers. So at some point in the future, I may need to do a video on that so everybody can kind of understand the basics of using a rotary with a laser. As always, stay tuned to the channel because there's going to be plenty more content that I'm going to develop with the AtomStack A24 Pro. For my sewists that are out there and wondering, can this cut fabric? Absolutely it can, but again, without the honeycomb bed, I didn't feel like it was safe to demonstrate it. Thank you so much for paying attention. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.